So I bought this book. It's the Hockey News Pool Guide for 2016-2017. I'm just going to go through players that can make an impact as a rookie and the top 2 point producers from each team that they predict. So it's their predictions. So first is Austin Matthews for the rookies that could produce right away. They have him at 65 points. I think he's going to get more around 55, but 65 would be a pretty good season for him. Next is William Nylander at 55 points. I think he's going to get 50 to 55 points, so this is realistic. Next is Dylan Strome at 50, which I can see him producing. And then Mitch Marner at 49 points. Depends on who he plays with in the Leaf roster and if he actually makes the Leafs. This could be a very good point total for him. Next is Patrick Laine at 46 points. I think he's going to get up more to 45 to 50 points. Probably more to the 50 than the 45, so this could be a lower total than he actually gets. Next is Mikko Rantanen at 43 points. Sebastian Aho at 40 points, which is pretty realistic for him. Pavel Buchnevich from the Rangers at 40 points. Matthew Tkachuk at 39 points. I think he's going to get more towards the 45 point range. And then Jimmy Vesey, depends on which team he plays for. He's going to get around 38 points, they think. So now I'm just going to go through each team and the top 2 point producers that they believe, and I'm going to say whether I agree with this and who I think should be their number 1 or is going to be their number 1 the next season. So for Anaheim Ducks, they have Ryan Getzlaf at 74 points and Corey Perry at 70 points. I don't think Perry's going to get 70. He'll be more probably around the 60 point range. But Getzlaf could easily get 74 because he had a horrible start to the season last year. And he still got 63 points. So I believe 74 could be pretty realistic for him. Next is the Arizona Coyotes, and they have Oliver Ekman-Larsson at 61 and Max Domi at 59. Domi this year as a rookie had 52 points, so I think he's going to have a higher jump than 7 points in his production. So he's going to get, I think he's going to get around 63 to 65 points, which should lead that team in scoring. Next is Boston Bruins, and they have David Krejci and Patrice Bergeron both at 63 points. I think Bergeron's going to get a little bit more points than Krejci, but they're still going to be close. Next, they have, for Buffalo Sabres, Jack Eichel at 63, Ryan O'Reilly at 59, Max Reinhart at 58, Opozo at 56. Obviously, Jack Eichel should lead this team in scoring. And 63 to 65 points is where I think he's going to be at. Next is for the Calgary Flames. They have Johnny Gaudreau at 80 and Sean Monahan at 68. I don't think Gaudreau is going to get 80. He's probably going to get 70 to 75 points, but that would still lead the Calgary Flames in points. This one's a little hard with Carolina Hurricanes. They have Skinner at 55, Rask at 54, Lindholm at 53, and Teravainen at 49. I'm going to say Lindholm, I think, might have a little bit of a better season than the other 3. So I think he's going to lead that team in scoring. But Skinner obviously has the ability to. Next for the Chicago Blackhawks, they have Patrick Kane at 90 points, which is realistic. Panarin at 66 and Taves at 63. I think Taves gets more points than Panarin this year, so he's going to be second. Obviously, Patrick Kane's going to be first, right around 90 points. He even might get more than that. Next is the Colorado Avalanche with Duchesne at 64, McKinnon at 60, Landeskog at 58. I think McKinnon takes a bigger, nice step and outscores Duchesne, so he'll be the leading point producer of this team. Right around 60 to 65 points is what they're going to get. But I think he's going to get more than Duchesne. Then Columbus Blue Jackets, they have Saad at 58 and Jenner at 56. I don't see anybody on this team getting more than 55, so I still think Saad's going to lead it, but he's only going to get around 55 points. I don't see him up towards 60. For the Dallas Stars, they have Jamie Benn at 82 and Tyler Seguin at 75. I think Sagan's going to score more than 75, but Ben's still going to lead that team. Although it's going to be closer than 7 points what they predicted. I think it's going to be like maybe 84 points for Ben and 82 for Seguin, or Sagan's going to get around 80. He's going to get more than 75, I feel. Next is the Detroit Red Wings. Dylan Larkin at 55, Nielsen at 50, Gustav Nyquist at 50, and Zetterberg at 50. This one's kind of hard to predict. I would like to see Zetterberg up in the lead, just because I like Zetterberg, but I think he's going to tail off maybe this year or next. So Larkin could lead, but I'm still hoping Zetterberg does lead that team in points. So next it's Edmonton Oilers. They have Connor McDavid at 96, which is what they're predicting is the highest in the league. And Jordan Eberle at 70 and Milan Lucic at 65. So obviously I agree with them. I think McDavid could get 90 to 100 points. Probably 92 I'm going to say he's going to get around, which is still pretty good in this day and age. So the Florida Panthers, they have Barkov at 71 and Huberdeau at 67, and Yager is all the way down at 50. I think Barkov's going to lead this team in scoring with probably 69 points. I don't see him getting over 70, and Huberdeau, I don't think he's going to get 67. He might get 60 as well. So Barkov would probably be my choice to lead that team. Next is the LA Kings. They have Kopitar at 70, Carter at 61, Toffoli at 60. I don't know if Carter might not get in the 60s this year. Same with Toffoli. So obviously Kopitar is capable of that 70-point season, and he's obviously going to lead that team in scoring. Next is the Minnesota Wild. Zach Parise at 65, and then they have Koivu at 51, Stahl at 50, Coyle at 50, Niederreiter at 48. So Parise, I'm obviously agreeing with him for the lead, like team lead in points, but I think Niederreiter is going to be second with probably around 55. I think he's going to take a nice step. So Montreal Canadiens, they have Max Pacioretty at 66, Galchenyuk at 64, and Radulov at 60. I think Galchenyuk is going to move into that number one spot for the Canadiens this year, but yeah, around 64 to 66 points is where that team's like the leader's going to be. So Nashville Predators, they have Johansson at 69 and Forsberg at 65, which is I agree pretty much completely with this. That's going to be right around where they should be, and that will lead that team in points. So New Jersey Devils, they have Taylor Hall at 68, Palmieri at 55, and Henrique at 53. So this is pretty reasonable to believe that Hall is going to be the leading scorer on that team. I think after that trade, everyone kind of knew he would be. So around 68 points. I believe he's going to get around maybe 72 for that team. Have a pretty good year. So the New York Islanders, they have Tavares at 83, Ladd at 66, and Parenteau at 55. It's a little bit higher than I thought Parenteau would be at. I think he's going to get around maybe 45 points, but they think he's going to get 55, which is going to be a really good year for him. But obviously Tavares is the leader of that team, and I think he's going to get around 89 points to 90 points. I think he's going to be higher than that 83 that they have him down there for. So the New York Rangers, Brassard at 61, Nash at 60, and Zuccarello at 58. But obviously when they were doing this, they didn't know about the Brassard trade, so he's obviously not going to lead that team in points. I would like to see Zuccarello lead that team in points. I like him as a player, so that'd be good to watch. Zibanejad is what they got for Brassard. I don't think he's going to lead that team in points. He might come third, probably. Second or third would be Zibanejad. Alright, for the Ottawa Senators, obviously it's going to be Erik Karlsson, they have number 1. Mark Stone with 63. They have Erik Karlsson with 77 points. Mike Hoffman with 60. Bobby Ryan was 56, and Turris with 53, and then Zibanejad, which was they traded him to New York, with 50. So I think Karlsson's gonna be number 1, obviously, and then Broussard or Stone will be number 2. Philadelphia Flyers, they have Giroux at 73 and Voracek at 64. This is pretty realistic for those two to finish 1 and 2, and obviously Giroux's going to get around 70 points. Alright, Pittsburgh Penguins. Crosby with 95 points, Malcolm with 73, Kessel with 68, and Hornquist with 57. So Crosby, I think he's going to get around 90. I wouldn't say 95, although he's very capable of getting that, so it wouldn't surprise me. And then Malkin with 73. Obviously, they've been the 1-2 punch for Pittsburgh for quite a while, and that shouldn't be different this year. St. Louis Blues, they have Tarasenko with 83, Steen with 62, which is realistic. I think Tarasenko's only get around 75 to 77. I don't think he's going to be up with that 83 point range. San Jose Sharks, they have at 75 for Pavelski and 70 for Thornton, which is realistic. I don't think Thornton's going to get 82 points again this year, although he had a really good year last year. So it would surprise me that he was up there again, but he's done it before, so he can definitely do it again. The Tampa Bay Lightning, they have Kucherov with 77, Stamkos with 72, Drouin with 63, and Johnson with 60. I would like to see Stamkos return to his form with a point per game player, so hopefully this is the year he gets back there. I'm going to predict he gets at least 80 points this year, so that would be good for him. So him and Kucherov will be 1-2. So the Toronto Maple Leafs, they have Matthews with 65 and Van Riemsdyk with 64 and Nylander with 55. Although I would like to see Matthews first on this team in scoring, I don't think he's going to get up that high. I think he's going to get around 50 to 58 points this year. So I think Van Riemsdyk is going to be the leading scorer for the Leafs. Vancouver Canucks, they have Daniel Sedin with 59 and Hendricks Sedin with 55. They're always 1-2 for that team pretty much, so I believe this is going to be the case this year again. So for Washington Capitals, they have Kuznetsov with 80 and Ovechkin with 75 and Backstrom 73. I still think Ovechkin leads his team in scoring with 83 points, not Kuznetsov, although Kuznetsov is a pretty good player. For Winnipeg Jets, they have Wheeler at 72 and Scheifele at 70. I think it flip-flops. I think Scheifele takes that step and becomes the true number 1 center they drafted him to be, and he's going to lead this team in points this year. So that's it for what they predict is going to happen, or how many points the player's going to get. So either like, subscribe, or comment on this video if you want, and have a nice day.